Howdy, House of Massive Reviews here, and let's get started. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yep. So let me start by saying this. I have not really bothered looking into any of the Star Wars Disney Plus show TV series as of late. I haven't seen Mandalorian. I haven't really watched that much of the Clone Wars animated series, the Rebels, Book of Boba Fett. I haven't really bothered looking into it. Any of them. I don't know. I know how popular they are, but really, either I just didn't really feel like I wanted to watch them, or I just said, well, perhaps at a later time. So then along comes Obi-Wan Kenobi, originally meant to be a feature-length spin-off film, much like in the vein of Rogue One and Solo, a Star Wars story. But due to this, well, the failure, the box office disaster that was Solo, they've changed this to a Disney Plus series, and I think it's honestly worked out pretty well, the transition from potential film to a TV show. With that said, once again, I did not have any plans of actually taking a look at this. I know it was a lot of people, and here's the thing, a lot of the people I knew kept on asking me whether I was going to see this, and I just said no, and even when I was away in Queensland, when I was talking with people who I know up there, they were like, have you seen Obi-Wan? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And it was only until I finally got back from my holiday in Queensland that I at least watched a little bit of the first episode, well, the half of the first episode, with a couple of mates that I know, well, actually a few people from work. I was like, okay, I'll now watch it. I will get through this in the whole entire week. Just let me finish Man vs. Bee first. And I liked it. I really did. I really enjoyed Obi-Wan Kenobi. So what's the premise? So set in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, 10 years in fact, Obi-Wan is still living on Tatooine, living life as a scavenger while keeping a watchful eye on Luke Skywalker, son of Anakin Skywalker. Even though his adopted parent, his step uncle and Uncle Owen Lars, doesn't want Obi-Wan, now going by the name of Ben Kenobi, anywhere near the boy due to his failure of Anakin. All the while, the Empire is hunting down the remaining Jedi, with Obi-Wan being one of the highest Jedi they want to find, even though most people view him as dead at this stage in the Empire, with the exception of a few. One in particular being someone known as the Third Sister. She's determined to kill Obi-Wan for various reasons, which I'll get to, the reasons being, I'll explain later. Elsewhere, Anakin's daughter, Princess Leia Organa, has been kidnapped by bounty hunters working for hired by the Third Sister in order to potentially draw Obi-Wan out. Bail Organa, Leia's stepfather, Leia's adopted father, requested that Obi-Wan come out of retirement to help find Leia and bring her back out of fear that, because, she is Anakin's daughter. So Obi-Wan finds the young Princess Leia and must protect her and bring her back home, all while being chased by the Third Sister, as well as his former apprentice Anakin Skywalker, who is now of course Darth Vader. So yeah, story, you can guess where this is going to go. And we all know how it's going to go. Otherwise, New Hope wouldn't go the way it would. But it does explain how Leia, knew of Obi-Wan when she sent for request to help for his help in A New Hope. So what does work in this? Well, once again, it's good to explore different worlds. In fact, I'm actually kind of impressed we get to see a bit more of Alderaan at least in the first episode with Leia. That was pretty cool. The action scenes are, of course, really good. There's some cool stealth scenes with Obi-Wan as he tries to reawaken his ability to use the Force. The best fight, in my opinion, is when he encounters Darth Vader for the first time, and it's all in darkness, and he's trying to avoid confronting Vader and all that. That's probably some of the best suspenseful fights in Star Wars, in my view. The performances are really good. Obviously, Ewan McGregor is great as Obi-Wan. He's a lot more he's taking on a bit more of a wiser, more slower approach with this, sort of in the same way as Alec Guinness in New Hope. But you know, he still seems like the Obi-Wan we saw in the prequels. Who, let's be fair, he's one of the better characters in the prequel trilogy, honestly. So yeah, he's good. Other than that, the other actors do a good job too. I think obviously, you know, Jimmy Smith is good when he's around as Bail Organa. You've got Joel Edgerton, who's all right as Owen Lars. He's not too bad, you know. But the other two in particular, Vivian Lyra Blair, I think her name is, who plays the young Leia Organa, is a pretty good young actress, and I think she really does capture the tone of a young Princess Leia pretty well. And then, of course, we bring up the Kamal Najiri Nina. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The guy from Eternals who's in this, who was the Bollywood actor, Kingo, that is, in Eternals. He's not bad in this. He's pretty good. And then of course we have the return of Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones as Anakin Skywalker, who is / Darth Vader. Now James Earl Jones, I don't need to go any further. He's my favorite actor in the Star Wars, in anything Star Wars. And he always does a good job, no matter how old he's getting. I mean, he's in his 90s now, but whenever he's around, you hear him as Darth Vader, you know you're going to get a good performance. Even, well, with anything from Lion King, whenever he's attached to Lion King or Star Wars, you know he's going to get good stuff. But Hayden Christensen, I think this is actually his best performance, definitely as Anakin. Of course, there's much better dialogue in this, but when you hear Hayden's voice in this, it's not as bad. It's actually kind of more threatening, and you know, what I'm saying is it's a lot better, honestly. And what I like a lot about these, I mean, with certain new characters, how they use in who work for the Empire. I mean, obviously you got your main traders who, you know, who are trying to help Obi-Wan and, you know, the good guys, you know, overthrow them. But there is a few who work for the Empire and you know, are technically bad guys, but they're using them for their own personal benefits, which I actually think is kind of unique. It's unique to see how, yeah, they support the Empire, but they want to use them for ulterior motives that they want to achieve. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just think that's pretty nice, you know. Of course, there's not, yeah, and you know, certain other cameos in this that you see and references. You know, we get a few. They're pretty good. Thankfully, at least we didn't get a cameo of Jar Jar. Jeez, I wonder whatever happened to him after Revenge of the Sith. He probably got killed off by Darth Vader at some point. Maybe that Force Unleashed Easter egg where he's frozen in carbonite and on board a Inquisitor ship. Maybe that's actually legit what happened. But, you know, other than that, what are my problems? Well, there are some certain lines that I don't think really make sense, to be honest. I mean, there's this moment where in Episode 5 when Bail Organa doesn't hear from Obi-Wan, so he's afraid that he may be dead, he's going to reach out to Owen Lars to protect Luke. And I don't know, would Owen even know about Bail Organa? I mean, it is hinted on the wiki page that Owen and Beru knew of Leia, but they didn't know where she was. But do they even know about that Bail Organa has Leia? Was Leia's stepfather? Like, I don't know, like, or you know, or something like that. Well, I mean, I know he's just trying to talk to Obi-Wan, but you know, like, yeah, I don't know. There's a bit. Speaking of that, Luke Skywalker. Now he's not in this that much because, you know, it's mostly Obi-Wan trying to save Leia, but I would have liked a bit more of him outside of a brief little snippet in Episode 1 and in Episode 6 where we see a lot more of him. But, you know, I just wish there could have been a lot more to it, you know, and, you know, stuff like that. but I'm not gonna like. I don't even think he actually speaks in this. Now I think about it. Well, if he does, it's very minimal. But now we get to the main villain. Who it is? The third sister is what she's known as far as I know. I will say this, in terms of her actor, Moses Ingram, she does a pretty good job, and I think she has the potential of being a good villain. But my biggest problem with her is actually when I find out her motivation as to why she's doing what she's doing. Now, once again, this is using the Empire for their own motives, of being a part of the Empire to, benefit for their own benefits. But when they reveal why she's after Obi-Wan and how she knows, because she knows that Anakin is Darth Vader. But the problem with that is when they reveal how, because this obviously ties back to Revenge of the Sith, I'm just a little skeptical as to how that happened. I mean, we don't see the scene that they reference, but I don't know, I always pictured that Anakin actually did what he did in Revenge of the Sith and completed the whole way through. And this little loophole that they explain in this as to how the third sister, why this is her, how of her backstory, I'm like, really? And then there's the whole thing where then in episode 6 when she goes after something else to get to Obi-Wan. I'm not going to say what, but I think you can guess where I'm getting at. But yeah, that's surely she could have maybe figured out also the other half of it, especially since that's what she uses to draw Obi-Wan out. Like, I don't know. It's just her motivation and her backstory just confuses me big time. Like, boom. Jesus, shouldn't have flipped my head. Yeah, but overall, I think she's a decent villain. She's well acted. Just that her backstory just confuses me as to how it could have happened. But with that said, Obi-Wan Kenobi is good, and I'm glad I'm actually pretty impressed with it. I'm glad I took a look at it. With that said, does that mean I'm now going to finally watch the likes of The Mandalorian and Clone Wars and Book of Boba Fett and Rebels? Someday. I probably will do Clone Wars first. At least get a few episodes of that done. Well, actually, I'm probably going to have to watch the full thing so I can understand the mythos, because I know Ahsoka appears in The Mandalorian. Whew, jeez. Well, as I said, one day I will watch the rest of those shows, but not at the very moment. Overall, I'm impressed with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I give it a 7.5 out of 10 half stars. It's a good show. Definitely glad I watched it. I found time to watch it. Definitely better. And in fact, I do admit it's definitely better than Miss Marvel in my view. Just saying. So what's next for my channel? I'm not sure what I'm going to review next. Anything can happen. Just see if there's any requests I should get to, or I might, go to something else. I might even go back to video game reviews for a bit. You never know. But in the meantime, this is Hassa from Hassa Reviews out, and I shall see you for my next video. Ciao.